Hey guys, it's Ellen here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're painting a cute little seagull. We're going to talk about painting the negative space without having to use masking fluid and shadows. Just using a few colors here. And I thought we'd change it up today and paint some birds instead of some flowers. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comment section. So let's get started. Alright, so I'll go over my supplies, my Arch 100% cotton paper, paper towel, my paints. I'll go over them. I'll be using just a few paints today. Water pot. I drew my sketch of my seagull here. I can try and teach you how to draw it here. Or you can just, look at some reference online. Basically, start off by making a circle. Oh, this pencil is terrible. Here we go. Making a circle for the head, right? You're not used to drawing birds. And then kind of angle an oval, the body. Like that. Right? And then you kind of connect the two. So you're going to make this little curve. And then you're going to put his beak, which is just like a curve, and another curve, and then point. And he has like this little smirk. This head's a little bit bigger, but you can kind of just tone it down, make it a little smaller. And you got the eye. So now you got the body here. You're going to go back and pull it out like this. And from here, you're going to point. You're going to make a point like this, see? And then you put another feather out here. And then you put the feather here. So the little back feather, underneath feather that's really dark, is going to be here. And then for his, he's going to be standing on, put two like little sticks, put two little lines down for his legs, just to give you a indication where his leg is going to go. And here's the stump kind of thing that he's standing on. And the legs are like two lines kind of down, but then, well, not exactly that way. They're kind of lean it, and then put a little bump in the middle, another one down. And then you're going to kind of go out like in a triangle for his feet. Just like that. You can really see the feet, and here's the stump kind of thing. So there you go, there's the bird. This is how you draw a bird. It's pretty simple. Really going to be concentrating on just painting the negative space and the bird itself. So that was pretty easy, right? He's got like this weird smirk. And then you just erase all this other stuff, and you have the seagull. I hope that helps. So hopefully my phone will cooperate today. If you know, I've been having technical issues with it and I need to replace it, and I had to use my actual video SLR camera, but there's no microphone connected to it, and I had a learning curve to try and do tutorials with the iMovie, which takes 10 times as long, and I'm going on and on, but basically it's a lot of technical stuff involved. Filming that way as opposed to filming on my phone, which is faster, and I can get more videos out for you. If I have to film the other way from now on, it's going to be even worse because it takes too long. So I have a indigo blue. This is just a Dick Blick indigo blue. I have my peacock blue from Holbein, my cadmium yellow hue, deep cadmium yellow hue we use from the beak. Peacock blue, I like this blue. Have a little bit here. I already have the indigo in here, but I'll put some more in there. Then so to activate your paints, you can just use a squeeze bottle. Sorry, I'm just all over the place today. One of these squeeze bottles filled with water. Just dab it in a little. Or if you have one of these, you get these really cheap at Michael's now that the stores are finally open. You spray it on your palette, and it'll activate the watercolor. And I always use kind of like a crappy brush to really mix up the paint. Like I'm going to really get in here and grab some of this carmine red. It got a little muddy because there was some green on it, but I'm just going to go in there and grab that. So I might add the carmine with this just because I got the primaries here, a little darker blue. So negative space. So the bird is white mostly here, and got some little gray, and then look a dark blackish blue here. And then he's got the yellow beak. If you don't have to, there's different ways you can paint him. You can paint without the background and paint a blue background, or you paint the blue background to just show the white of the bird. So either way is good. This way, today we're going to show the background, and I'm going to do several ways. I'm going to want to put, we could use masking fluid here if you did and you want to wash the whole thing, but we're going to do without masking fluid. I'm going to grab a bigger brush. I have a 12 Princeton Neptune brush, and I'm going to just put water all on the outside part of the bird. Just a little bit, not too much. Just on the side right here that you see. And then over his head. And we're going to wash and color. And then on the side of the stump. Let's get his body here. So we're just painting the negative space. Positive is the subject, negative is outside of it. I'm going to grab some of this pretty peacock blue. Might add a dab of burnt umber in here just to tone down a little bit. Oops, toned down a little too much. Gonna grab some more of that peacock blue. So it's not so super bright. Let's water it down a little more. See, it's very wet. This brush holds a lot of paint. I'm just gonna dab that in. So it's a nice bright blue color. Gonna get some more water in here and just push it around. So like I said, we're just painting the negative part. Right next to the bird. And this stump. I'm just painting all the area around him. Grabbing some more of this paint. So this is a big subject that you don't need masking fluid for. But if you want to do some serious wet on wet around him, see, I'm cleaning off my brush. Kind of dried over there, so I'm just going to grab some water and push it around. Just like so. And then grab some more water and just push it all around like that. Just cleaning up the brush, and I'm just grabbing some water and just going to blend it that way. See, and I can go back in and add some more. Just dab the paint in, see, and it will bleed out because it's wet. You can get even darker if you want. Play around with it. You don't even have to have blue. You can do some gray. I just like the blue. Just gonna. And you don't have to do around the whole bird. But I'm going to grab some more of this blackish color. Just dab that in there. Just going to tone down that color a little bit. And it's still very wet. I'm going back in here. I'm going to grab some more peacock blue. Mix it back into this. It got a little too muddy. I didn't like that color. It's a little more creamy texture, less wet. It's going to be a little darker. It kind of looks like he has like a halo around him. And, you know, like I said, you can add more water so it bleeds out a little more. I'm just using the tip of my brush just to go right in there. I'll clean it off, and I'll grab some water and I can push it around. Just push that water paint around. And you clean it off and you can get it lighter and lighter as you go back here. You don't have to go to the edge. You can just see like I just did that part. Now, you don't have to do the wet on wet this way I did it. That I did this. If you want to do wet on dry, the other technique is, see this is a wet on dry. Just going on through here and through here on his legs. And then over in here. This is wet on dry. So the paint is wet, the paper is dry. You will have more control than the other way, if that's what you're looking for, if you're doing wet on dry. But if you want that fun bleed, you'll need to do wet on wet, or wet on damp. So then, here I just painted the wet on dry. I can clean off my brush, and then grab some water, and then push that paint around. Go back and grab some more of this paint, and then go in and bleed it too. I like the wet on wet more because it creates these fun bleeds. It just gives it a little more movement, a little more fun. That's a little too bright, so I will just tamper that down a little bit. And grab some more of this. So obviously you have to wait till this dries before you start tackling the bird, because what will happen is it's going to bleed right into the bird, and we're trying to avoid that. So I'm going to dry this and then come back. Okay, so he's dry, and we'll grab my Princeton 8 long run. Like this brush, you know it's one of my favorites. I can use that same blue, just a little bit, and I'm going to grab some black. If you don't have black, you can mix many colors as you want to make the black. I could mix all the primaries and make a black. So then we're going to make a gray color. So we're going to mix a little blue, a little black. This is ivory black. This is just cheap black. We're getting this bluish gray color. See, there's more black means a darker gray, and that little blue. I'm going to water that down because we want this gray to be pretty pale. Okay. So we're going to wash in some gray right over here. I'm going to get this a little more watered down. And a little more of the black. It's a little too blue. Okay. Just going to wash in his little feathers that are over here that are gray. Just washing in this gray part. Now it kind of blends into the white here for the bird. You could just take your paintbrush, just make like this little lines going in, like it's bleeding into the white part. Or you can clean off your brush, grab a little water, and just kind of push that paint a little bit. So it's bleeding a little bit, but not really becoming white. Same thing up here, because his feathers kind of bleed into the white. Again, I'm going to grab some more of this gray. And I'm going to go down in here, and I'm making it a little darker. Just pushing back and forth the feathers. Getting close to that first line. Not touching it yet. I'm just pushing with the tip of our paintbrush. These little wispy lines connected to this area. So we're going to leave some white in here. This has got to dry a little bit before we start going back into that one. Now we're going to get it down water even more. I'm going to put some little gray touches around his eye. just a little bit around his eye, like that. And I'm going to take some water and I'm going to blend it. This bird is white, but it has all these shadows in this particular case. And then on the back of here, just a little bit on the back of his head, just a little shadow. And then under his beak, chin area, a little bit here. And then water it down again. We're going to put a little bit, just these simple lines. Let me zoom in so you can see. Just simple swash, like side swashes with your brush. It's one little gray. It's a little shadowy on his belly here. Just a little bit there. And then the feathers underneath that, right here. Just put the gray right there. We're building this up. Okay. And then the back of his head on the side here again, we're going to keep building. We're going to add a little more gray. And curve it a little bit. Grab some water and blend that. Take your brush, just hit the outer edge of that and see how it's blending. So it's starting to look more like a shadow. And you can leave the white, top part really crispy white. Now I'm going to grab some more of this gray. I'm going to go back in and add some more of detailed feathers. So see, I'm just putting this line in here and the little lines going like this. And then he has like a fold here. So a darker gray goes in this fold. Just adding a little more of these wisps for his feathers. Same thing over here. Getting a little, it's like less water, a little more of that dark, the gray that's starting to dry out, so it ends up being a little darker. And I'm just doing these little wisps. If you want a little creamier, grab some of that black and some blue. Get a lot darker. And then put in some more of those wisps and this line here. It's a constant buildup of this gray. So it's not too dark, but it's not too light. I'm going to go add some more of this gray. Just get a little bit darker underneath that other one. Don't worry, you know, it's going to take a little patience. And it doesn't have to look perfect. Putting in some more darker grays. And here. A little bit over in here. And a little more down here, because it's underneath his belly. So getting even darker still. And a little bit here. Then he has this really dark one here, but almost like black and blue. I was going to use the indigo. I'll put a little indigo here. And a little of that gray. I mean, it's really black, but I like the indigo be really pretty instead of keeping the so black. And that one will go right here. A little bit here. And in here. See? Just like that. You can add a little black. Just a touch of the black. Very creamy. Let it bleed from that inside edge out. Doesn't that look nice? It bled a little bit here, but that's okay. I'm going to clean off our brush. Grab some more of that gray. Do a couple of lines wisping here. Under here. Look at those under feathers. Don't touch that black part. Try and keep a distance, a little line distance from there. And I'll just swoop that up like that. Just take up that bleed by mopping it up. Grab some more of this black, dark black, brown. I'm sorry, I'm speaking foreign language here. I'm grabbing some more of this darker bluish black color and just making some little wisps over here, back tail, and just a little under here too. All right. Now we're going to go on his legs. They could be a little orange, so I take that bright cadmium yellow deep, add a little of that carmine. My carmine's a little muddy, so it's got this dark orange. I'm going to add a little of that gray to it too. It might be a little too bright for his legs, so we'll tone it down with a little of this dark gray that we had up here. Or I'm gonna add a little more red actually. And I'm gonna bleed that in. It's kind of realistic, but not really. Little lunky legs. I'm just gonna put those webbed feet in there. And there we go. Now I'm gonna add some dark shadows to that too. You can take that deep dark gray with a little black, just dab it in right under here and let it bleed. And you can push it out a little bit on the side. I feel like this got really too big, his feet, but that's okay. Kind of chunky feet. Should be a little skinnier than that. For the beak, you want that yellowish. So I have this cadmium deep yellow. It's a little too bright. I'm gonna mix it in with that carmine I had. And we're gonna just go fill it in here. Gonna get the first layer in. It's a little bright. I might go in and add some of this red at the tip. And in here. And his eye, gonna go the outer edge of his eye in that yellow color. When that dries, we'll go back in and we'll put in a little, I'm gonna grab some of this bluish gray also and stick this right in here on the beak. Right in the edge. He has like a smile upside down frown kind of thing. And play around with the legs. I mean, I'm gonna go in and add a little more of that shadow gray. I feel like it's too bright. Just gonna add it on that one side. So like the sun shining this way. Okay. And let's do the little, I wouldn't know, stump, or what do you call it, like those things that come out of the water, like by the jetty, the wooden, they weathered down from all the weather. The poles. It's kind of like driftwood poles. You see the birds standing on. So I'm going to wash in a gray color first. Bluish gray, whatever gray you had. Just wash that in. On the whole thing. It's getting a little more too blue. Add some of that black. So I'm washing it in. It's a little too dark here. I'm going to push that over there. And when that dries, we're going to add in all the little details and build that one up too. Just wash that in. This eye should be dry. We can go back in and take some of your ivory black. You don't want it too wet. So we're going to fill in the little eye, but leave the halo in the middle. There you go. And I'm going to wash my brush off. And I feel like I need to get a little more dark gray around his eye. Right in here. underneath the yellow that I did. Just a little more. You seem too bright-eyed, if you know what I mean. And then I'm going to take the paint, get some water on it, and just move this paint around a little bit. There, he seems a little better. Okay. This is still a little wet. We can start to throw in some of the dark gray shadows though on the side. So we can just bleed this in. I'm putting some dark gray in here. Now that it's still damp, it will bleed nicely. If you want to go a little bit more. And just dab that in right on the edge. And then we're going to have to let this dry and come back. Okay, now that it's dry, we're going to put the band in that goes around the stump. I'm going to grab some of this gray. Oh, still not dry on that section for some reason. Go across. Like so. And put the middle piece here. And now we're going to put some of the wood lines into it. So just putting these skinny lines going down. You want to make it look like driftwood. So you're going to have some blackish ones, dark, going like this, down. Sporadically put them around. And then going to grab some more of the gray, get a little creamy texture. I'm going to put more lines. Just sporadically putting them down like wood grain. You want to put a wood eye in there, you can do that. I'm just putting a bunch of lines in. To make it look like wood grain. Or actual wood. So just a bunch of lines, some together, some far apart. See, it's starting to look like wood. Just keep putting that in. Some a little darker than others. I'm going to put a much darker, blackish, very creamy texture line under that band, under here. Just to pull that up. Over in here. Get a little more under there. Almost like black, but really just a deep dark gray. Looking like wood. Another that deep dark line. The side's a little still wet, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Again, just putting these lines, go down. Make it like wood. And that's pretty much it, how you make your seagull. You can tweak this however you like I'm adding some more, just pushing them down like this. Get a little darker on some of these. Like it's deep inside the wood. A little shadow under that. And I'm just pushing the brush downward like a dry brush technique on that wood. And this is just like that metal band that goes across them that they're standing on. Get a little dark over here. It's got that shadow of his body. Right on the edge there. I'm gonna add some more of this black color, watered down. Take your time. You don't want to rush it. And there's your seagull. He's kind of cute, right? Now I'll go back in here and I'll tweak the beak a little bit. I might add a little more shadows. See? And under here. Just go and tweak the feathers. You want to put more lines in the feathers. Like this. Go into the details. But generally, this is how you would paint him. And who doesn't love a seagull at the beach? I love the beach. I was at the beach last night. I was hoping to go today, but we're going to have thunderstorms. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know when the videos are up. Don't forget to also check out my Patreon. That's additional to YouTube. I'm still doing my free YouTube videos. Patreon is additional extra exclusive videos. You obviously pay a fee, it's a tiered thing, and I'm giving PDF sketches to go with the videos if you do that tier. So go check it out. It's under the Show Me More. Hit the Show Me More link under this video, or hit my About page and you'll see it there. Thanks guys so much for stopping by. Thanks so much for all your support. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.